gone?
No.
Be a fast start, Chris, as well.
Yeah. Shane's in that's the overtake as well.
And here we go for the senior race, the event 5 of today's races at West Park. We have a guest commentator here, Mr. Peter Flatman, who recently ran one of his better races in the Humber Bridge Marathon, breaking what he set out to do in he set out to run 2 hours 40 and ran 2:38. And Pete's here to lend a hand to point out some of the leading runners in the race. Now we know Shane Page is running, so therefore it's bound to be quite a fast start. Yes, he's up there at the front. Shane's leading at the moment.
Just to his right is Mike Lake, number 729. Ian Greer's tucked on the inside, number 1366, in the red vest. And the tall figure of Martin Farrell is in the middle of that bunch. He's the man in form at the moment, although Mike Lake actually beat him in the 5,000 Club Championships on Wednesday night. But I know Martin had a tough day driving to Birmingham and back, so that may have made the difference. It seems to settle down now, the pace, Kevin, don't you think?
Yes, Shane's not his usual self. He's not got his 20 yards lead on the pack.
Yeah. Right.
Set you up.
So here we are. You can see Martin Farrell there on the inside, purple vest. Is just on Ian Greer's shoulder. He's moving into the centre of the road because this is a pretty rough track. I don't think that you're going to get the optimal performances on such rough going as this. The guy in the blue vest, light blue vest, 731 from Scarborough, is Robert Wally, who's a national class youth 1500 metre runner. And you can see Mike Lake there. He's rolling a bit, is Mike. I would have thought he'd have found this pace a little easier. But there's 4 there have got away now, and we, as you can see on the clock, we've been running about a mile probably. And there's another group building up behind now with Phil Leach in it, and Phil Leach, another run I don't recognise. Unfortunately, I don't have a programme. You would have found this pace not too bad at the moment, Kevin.
Well, it's just on 5-minute mile pace through the start banner there. So
that is a mile, is it?
1 mile. It's 1 mile each lap, so they've gone through in 5:02 there, which is quite a comfortable pace for this sort of distance, really. If you want to burn somebody off early on in the race, you want to be running at 4:50 pace for at least the first 2 miles.
Yes.
I think this sort of pace we're going to see this group probably pull away, but nobody's going to pull away from the group itself just yet. I think we've got another lap or 2 to see before Martin or Mike breaks away.
Yes,
Ian Greer sitting in there is looking fairly comfortable.
Well, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this mile goes, but I can see it being fairly well outside 10 minutes. Mike is significantly a yard or 2 back. I shouldn't be finding this tough, but we'll have to see. Robert Wally looks the most comfortable of the 4, I would have to say that. And he was last year's winner. And now you see them just turning on to this figure of 8 loop here. Some sharp bends. In that next group there, as you can see, there's Phil Leach in it, there's Trevor Shields, there's Hull Daily Mail reporter. I'm trying to think of his name at the moment. And then there's Shane Page, 920, gutsy runner. And as Rob Robinson said, probably Attila de Hun knows more about nuclear physics than does Shane about pace judgment, but he's always having a go. Brian Jones there, number 1218, goes through. And now the shock winner of the 5,000 metres on Wednesday night, George Slater, goes through. I say shock, he was 30 metres down with 200 to go and overhauled Alan Fowley in the last 10 metres in a gripping finale. You see the gaps are spreading out now. I think this is the second Springhead Harrier, 736, is coming through. And Very nice day. The temperature's 68, quite warm actually for the time of year. There's little breeze, and conditions for this kind of distance are excellent. Richard Strutt there, number 932, goes through. You see, it's quite a good field for this kind of course, probably as many as this race could take. But it's traffic free, you see. And so the only slight drawback is that the road surfaces are very uneven, and it must have an effect on the overall times.
And here we come back with the lead group again. Still the same 4 runners. They've pulled away from there's 2 runners just behind there, one from Billington Road runners. I can't quite make up the 6th runner, but they're some 50-60 metres down the leading group. Mike Lake on Martin's shoulder there is looking better than he was earlier on. He's up on Martin's shoulder as opposed to running behind him, which is telling Martin that he's there. He's going to push Martin all the way. Ian Dewberry's just dropped behind the group there, so I don't know if he's suffering at the moment or not, but he doesn't look too good at the moment. Perhaps he's just ducked in away from there is a slight breeze, as Pete said. He's perhaps ducking in from the breeze, just trying to save his resources for there's 3 laps left. He's probably just trying to, keep himself going. I think Martin possibly looking the stronger of the 4 at the moment. But Mike, like I say, is recovered himself from what we thought was a slow start. They've gone through there in 10:18 through the 2 mile marker, so they've slowed down that second lap. It was a 5:10 mile that one. Sorry, a 5:20 mile that one. So they've slowed down considerably from what we thought was not too fast a pace to start with. They've slowed down even more. So I don't know what's happening here. They seem to have pulled away, but the pace has actually dropped. What do you think of that, Pete?
Well, unless it's a slightly long mile, possibly. We might have to start considering that.
842.
Because runners of this calibre shouldn't be taking 10:18 for 2 miles. I mean, if they looked like they were jogging, then I would say okay, but let's look at the times on Wednesday night. They went through 2 miles on Wednesday night in 9:30. Well, I mean, there's 50 seconds there. It's not. We've got to suspect this might be a slightly long mile.
It's showing on their faces that they are actually running fairly fast as well. I noticed Martin's sweating quite a lot there, so he's obviously pushing himself. It's not as if they're taking the time, as you say, Pete. They're not jogging along there. They're pushing the pace. So it could be that the course is slightly longer. Although in saying that, they did the first lap in 5 minutes, almost 5 minutes dead.
Well, that's usual, though, isn't it, in a race?
That's right. They normally go off fairly fast and then tend to slow down on the forward lap.
Yeah, back markers here, Kevin. What do you think?
Well, they're obviously some of the lads who've started running with the running boom, which has now been going on for 5 years or so. They've started obviously later on life than the likes of Martin and Mike Lake, who are leading the race. They're running for fun as opposed to running for prizes, I think. They get a lot out of running, not competitively. They're running together in groups of 2 and 3 here, obviously having a Sunday morning run out and enjoying themselves.
And of course, their main competitor is themselves, isn't it?
That's right. They're running against themselves. They're running against their own particular personal bests, trying to improve on those all the time. I think they realise that they can't be world beaters. They can't be running the sort of races Martin and Mike and Ian Dewberry running at the moment. But they're still pushing themselves at their particular level.
Yeah, so it's Ian Greer actually, Kev, in the front group. The Dewberry is another famous name from Springhead Hull Harriers.
Well, as you know, Pete, I'm not alone. I'm not really too sure of the people around here. Most of them don't speak to me anyway, so because most of them can't understand my accent. I can't imagine why.
There, Chris. And so, the group is just showing signs of fraying at the edges. Ian Greer is still there, but a metre or 2 back. Robert Wally's now a metre back, but he still looks comfortable. Next two runners, Paul Stockbourne in the black, he's the report from the whole mail. 733, not sure, no programme unfortunately. But there's a little battle going on there, and it may be 4th or 5th place thereafter. And number 1219, he was in that group early on, who I didn't recognise, and he's there with Trevor Shields. Trevor Shields did 16:08, and there's Phil Leach, 7:48 PB, 5,000 by 24 seconds on Wednesday night. He was very pleased with that.
And here comes Shane Page, just to see Pete. He's running quite well. He's looking at his watch. He might have even paced himself today.
Yes, yes.
He's coming through the field because he was further back on the last lap, I thought. So I think he's in the top 15 there.
The strained expression on his face reminds one of Emil Zatopek or perhaps Brendan Foster. Did you say? I don't know.
Well, I can't remember Emil Zatopek myself, Pete, but Brendan Foster, perhaps, yes.
His Phil Dewberry behind George.
Oh yes, and the real Phil Dewberry now is making an appearance. 872 just behind George Slater. George Slater's looking very comfortable and remarkably relaxed. He's probably building and waiting to make this massive sprint, a repeat of which should be good to catch on camera. And so, coming up towards the 4th mile, we see that Mike Lake, Ian, he has this reputation for going always with the leaders, suffering in the later parts of the race, but he's always up there and has a go.
That's right. Well, I think as you pointed out before, Pete, Mike Lake's looking better and better the more the race wears on.
Yes, and they're coming up towards the 4 mile mark, and you can see it's going to be looks 21 minutes or so. So even if they push a 5-minute mile, it's going to be a 26 minute. And Martin Farrell's made a dash. He's made a dash. He's seen the video, and he's
put a hell of a kick in there.
He's putting a real kick in there.
For Dave.
He has really opened up.
Does he realise he's going to go? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. He must do.
Now.
I think he must do.
That's quite a kick, that's for have a mile left.
Yes. He may suffer for this. He's had a look round.
But there's no response from Mike or Robert at the moment, is there?
He's made a big lead, and we were there and we captured it. But Martin's got to realise he's got nearly another mile to go, and he's hammering this. I mean, this is incredible.
I think he must have heard us speaking to it before, saying that he's not going to make 26:30 at the pace he was going at.
Yes.
I think he's going for a 4:30 last mile here.
No, he's looking round, he's doing the a la Martin Farrell now, looking round. He could pay for that.
I think the lactic acid
he's holding his leg, he's holding his leg. That was a tremendous kick, wasn't it?
That was a 400 metres there, somewhere close to 60 seconds I would have thought.
Yes, yes. Well, you're better knowledge of that than I have.
Which is not hanging about really, because that is 4 minute miles.
He's slowed up
but he's slowed right up.
Considerably now, and he's blowing and he's looking round and he's jogging, and this could be dramatic yet. Around the final bend then, it's Martin Farrell, and he cannot be beaten now, even if he jogs. He had a 15-second lead he had built up on this final lap, which is nothing short of incredible, because the other two runners are certainly good runners. And there, you can see them in the far distance, Mike Lake there trying to kick away from Robert Wally, last year's winner, the young man from Scarborough. But this is an impressive run. I think Martin's suffering a bit now, but it doesn't matter. He's got a lead there that is nothing short of, what, 90 metres now?
And he built that up in the space of about 300, 400 metres as well, didn't he?
Yes.
That was the impressive bit about it.
Well, we've seen breaks on video, but I don't think we've ever seen an impressive break as that. And you've seen on most of the videos, haven't you, Kevin?
That's right, and like you said, there have been some impressive kicks, there's been some good finishes, but I think that's the top of the lot of them, that one by Martin.
And so Martin Farrell comes through to win. He's coming through now underneath the archers,
Just
in 26:58. And there was a big close up there because Mike Lake is in second place in 27:06.
Strong finish there by Mike.
So there was a halved his lead with Martin Farrell, and Robert Wally takes third place there in 27:13. Number 820 actually had another lap to go, so he's just heard the bad news and he's on his way.
Oh, Wally looks tired there after that last lap. He must have tried to catch Mike. Mike was just a bit strong from there, I think, Pete.
Yes, well, he's not really a road runner. Number 733, 27:35. Well, I'm sure these lads.
That's 5:30 pace.
Yes. Paul Stockburn now from Harrogate, 27:45. I bet he wonders how it could be so hard. Ian Greer, who was up with that group, they did lose a couple of places, 27:52. He'll never run a harder 27:52 for 5 miles.
He's looking at his watch there, Pete, and he couldn't believe it when he saw it.
No, I mean, it reminds me of the Cottingham 5 when it was short the other way.
That's right.
And we had about 50 runners inside 25 minutes, didn't we?
That's right.
Yeah. We'll have to ask comments from one of the officials from Springhead Harriers as to what they think of the accuracy of this course.
I think it really needs to be remeasured, Pete, at those times.
Trevor Shields there, he's found himself a kick and he's got himself in 28:29. When he sees that time, he won't believe it, and I think he'll be unhappy with his time, to say the least. $12.98, Springhead runner, looking very fit. 28:54 now. Good finish there. 29 minutes. Phil Leach will be disappointed with his 29:05. Now, I think he's probably suffering a bit from his hard run on Wednesday night. It was a 24-second improvement on his 5,000, so he's probably suffering a bit there. And Shane Page comes through. Excellent run from Shane. I think he's run pretty well today. 29:28. But relative to other people's performances, we shouldn't pay too much attention to the time, I don't think.
That's right. I think we'll really discount these times today, Pete, because...
And Phil Dewberry, I just caught out of camera shot. He's coming into camera shot now, flying down. As Brian Jones comes. But look at Phil dig it here. He's just going to run out of road, though. And he's all right. He's had a look at his glasses, and he's okay. He stood up to this race well. And well, the rest are outside 30 minutes. What was that? About 15 inside 30 minutes, Kevin? Would you say?
15 to 20, I think, inside 30 minutes, Pete.
Yeah. Well, when I heard last year's winning time was 27, I thought, well, obviously there was no pressure on the race. But now I've seen it run, I think I realise that. You know, it must be long. And here we've got it. We've got George Slater now. He's out kicking Mike Vickers, but he looks too easy. He should have been pushing it. He's very disappointed with his time. I mean, on Wednesday he was running the equivalent of a 5:20 pace. Today he's outside 6 minutes.
But really, when you think 6-minute mile pace for these sort of runners is no problem at all.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's a training pace, isn't it?
That's right.
Albeit a fairly fast training pace, but one of the City of Hull youngsters coming through, and Middleton, I just forget his first name. And this is and now it's Martin Farrell jogging towards us, and hopefully we'll just ask him a couple of words about what he feels about the accuracy of this course.
Right, here we are in West Park after the senior race, won by Martin Farrell in a time of just over 27 minutes. Now we're going to interview Martin now on what he thought of the race, and especially that massive kick he put in with 1 lap to go. Now then, Martin. What did you think when you put that kick in with a lap to go? Did you think you had a lap to go, or did you actually thought you were finished there? Because we thought you were going to the finish at first.
Oh no, I knew there was another lap to go. This lad Wally's supposed to be quite quick, he run a very good 1500, and just wanted to see what he was made of, how we'd cope with it with a mile to go, and obviously there was nothing there, and right. I got what I wanted.
Well, you burnt them off no problem at all within 400 metres, and then you seemed to lose your stride. We thought they might catch you up again. Was there any chance of that happening?
No, I was watching them. I just kept a gap, and I was alright. I could have accelerated again.
So, what did you think of the length of the course? Because we think it's possibly a bit long, with the time being just over 27 minutes of 5 miles.
Yeah, the pace was very steady. We were running outside of 5-minute miles, and it seemed to be relatively slow. I wouldn't like to say about the distance. It's difficult to judge between 5 miles, 5.25 miles, 5.5 miles. You can't really say, but the race wasn't run all that fast the first couple of miles.
So you're happy with the final time, and obviously happy with the position?
Yeah, I think people know my philosophy on running. It's run to win in races.
That's right. You
lead as little as possible. And I think people will endorse that.
So you've enjoyed a day of the sunshine in West Park?
Yeah, it was good actually. I wanted to run at Barnsley, but I couldn't get an entry to run at Barnsley, so I've taken the opportunity to run in the West Park races. It's been quite good. So I had a race on Wednesday and I didn't run particularly well, so I wanted another race before the road relay next week.
So you got your revenge again for Mike Lake today?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good to see. Thank you very much, Martin.
Thanks.